Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today I have the Army Painters Zombicide paint set for Zombicide 2nd edition. It comes with 20 paints, a little guy, a paintbrush, and it says everything that you'll need to paint survivors and zombies for your Zombicide game. So we're going to check this out. Now, they gave this to me early. I do not think you can get it in stores yet. But prepare. It's en route. Okay. So they've got their usual available in most Army Painter things. The How to Paint Guide. Get more time for gaming. Spray, paint, dip. Done. So they do let you know that you'd probably spray your miniature first. I imagine this guy is probably orange plastic. You'll want to spray him first, paint him. I mean, you could dip them, but they've got washes in here, so you don't really have to do that. And done. And all the sorts of different things that you can use, and highlight chart. Oh, that's handy. What colors you might want to highlight some regular stuff with. Dragon red followed by red tone, followed by pure red, followed by lava orange. How nice. That's a nice little guide for highlighting. And of course, their high-end brushes are so lovely. I'm not certain about this brush, but it is a starter brush. Oh, here's our card. Thank you. Fill. Ranged damage 2. 1 action, 1 free combat action, 1 to dice roll. Range. +1 to dice roll. Arranged. +1 die. Combat. BIA plus free combat action. He's a sniper. 3, 2, 1, dead. So 3 life. Cop driver. Car attacks performed by the survivor don't cause friendly fire. Nice. All survivors in your team ignore cards when searching a police card. Okay. The search is not interrupted after searching cards drawn that way are shuffled back in the equipment deck during a campaign. This effect still applies if you are KO. Well, Phil, you look hilarious. Very much enjoy you. And the full range of the 124 army paints. Now, I believe there are brand new paints in here as well. Do they have different names? And here's our starter brush. Oh no! We'll have to fix that before we start using it. There. Fixed. The bristles feel like they're nice quality though. It's good. Keep you in there for a bit. Oh, and it's specifically Zombicide Hobby Brush size 1 with warning stripes. Very cute. I have to give you a go. And we have got our cute little miniature. We'll have a look at him shortly. Alright, so we've got Flesh Wash, which you put over a paint. It's a translucent paint of sorts, but these tones are very nice. Strong tone. Dirt Splatter. Sounds awesome. Crusted Sore. Filthy Suit. Pale White. And you can see that these are the full army-sized bottles, so they're not smaller versions of the paint. They're the full 18 milliliters. Zombie Skin. Rotten Skin, as opposed to Zombie Skin. Wanda Blonde. Cute. Survivor Skin. Very clear where you were going with that. Glistening Blood. Molotov Flames. Seems kind of peachy for Molotov Flames. Must use a wash over it or something. Wasted Jeans. Depot Green. Moldy Clothes. Because why not? Shotgun Metal. Machine Gun Metal. Oops. Dark Tone. Dead Black. And Abomination Skin. Okay. Alright, let's have a look at him first though. Here he is. All sorts of cute little details on him. He's got some mold lines down his pants. But that should be an easy fix. Mold line, to have to take care of mold line on his club. And when I'm referring to mold lines, I'm just referring to where there's a little spiked line from the plastic sticking together. If that matters to you, it's very straightforward to take off with a little hobby knife or a mold line remover. It's otherwise really nice quality. You can see his arm has all of its muscles on it. Very nice little model. So definitely want to spray him down with something. Get a primer on him first. Prime him up first, and then it doesn't seem like we have a painting guide specifically for him. So what I would use out of all of this, looking at this fellow, is I would, after painting him, these are pretty opaque paints, so you could paint him whatever primer you happen to have, black, white, gray. I'd probably paint him a cream primer, use a cream primer, though I think, though Army Painter has a brush on gray primer, so you could use that too. And then, let's see, his pants. I would go with Filthy Suit, Seems to Suit, followed by a strong tone or a dark tone. Strong tone would give the gray a bit of a brown look, which is kind of what I see here. But if you don't want that or do want that, that's what I would go with. The bat, and of course his pants, his other parts are black. His bat, I would go with, yeah, a Wanda Blonde, followed by the Flash Wash. No, probably Strong Tone. So Wanda Blonde followed by Strong Tone, maybe highlighted a little bit with a mix of Wanda Blonde and Zombie Skin. The metal would just be the lighter of these two, which looks like Shotgun Metal, followed by a dark tone, followed by a highlight of the same color after the dark tone has dried. His little backpack looks like a nice brown. This is a dirt spatter, but I'd still use it, maybe mix it in with this to make that reddish brown, followed by a wash of strong tone or flesh wash. Probably flesh wash. And then highlighted slightly with the crusted sore again, very slightly. Then his little, do you even see that on this miniature? You do, okay. His little strings would probably be a mix of Molotov Flames and Wanda Blonde. And how red is the flesh wash? Okay. Brownish. Yeah, and then I'd wash that over with Flesh Wash. That one. Moldy Clothes. This is too bright for that, so I would probably wash it over with Dark Tone lightly. Maybe mix Moldy Clothes with Dark Tone together and then wash over your first look of Moldy Clothes with it. And then highlight a little bit with the Moldy Clothes mixed with the Depot Green after for these highlights. If you're going with the light color skin that he has, we would probably want Molotov Flames, followed by a Flesh Wash, and then highlighted with a bit of the Survival Skin, and then maybe a touch of a mix of Survival Skin and Wanda Blonde on the most highlighted spots, or Survival Skin with Pale White on the most highlighted spots on him. Again, this gray shirt definitely looks like a zombie skin color. And then you could wash that down with either go for a dark tone, but probably a dark tone mixed with your zombie skin so that it's has less of an effect. It turns it into a gray wash instead of a complete black wash. Don't want it too dark. I've already discussed that, and this dirt splatter should, as long as we don't have any texture paint in it. Yeah, okay, so that would work. This dirt splatter would work really nicely for his gun, the brown parts of his rifle. Yeah, it would work well. Probably also for his hair, and from the looks of his hair is a bit darker, so I would wash it over after you add the mud splatter, the dirt splatter, wash over with dark tone and then highlight it again with some of that. And if you want even extra highlight on it, yeah, I could scoot some Wanda Blonde into the dirt splatter. His glasses, you could use a metal, but I don't think you would want to if you want this nice cool shade look. Instead, you'd want to use exactly what you see here, which is a brown on the bottom half, followed by a light blue. So let's mix this guy in with Abominable Skin. So dirt splatter mixed with Abominable Skin for the bottom half of his glasses, and then the top half is going to go wasted jeans plus some pale white combination, and then there'll be a fleck over on the right side of each pane with just a bit of this a little bit watered down, or maybe that'd be a bit too bright, probably zombie skin mixed with the pale white. And and the shadow of his skin when you're doing your highlights. It looks like you should just add a wee bit of these two combined would give him that 5 o'clock shadow he's boasting. That is how I would paint him. Now on here they've got this lovely red going on. Isn't that lovely? They've got some a red light coming in from this direction. If we want to mimic that, then you could paint him exactly as I just said, but then you just add a red all over top in a but can we do that with this? Have to use Crusted Sore and Molotov Flames combination from the looks of it. Maybe a bit of Glistening Blood, but the Glistening Blood is going to be glossy and you don't want the glossy on there. So you need to use more of these two other colors to get rid of the gloss effect. And then highlight it in a layer by layer is what you'd want to do. Layer by layer, add on your red. Layer by layer, getting up to the point that you see. And if you wanted this effect to be even more so, just make certain whenever you're doing all of your highlights, leave off this side. All your strongest highlights, you just forget about this side. And so naturally when you put the red over, it'll look right. Yeah, this set is super nice, whether you're going for Zombicide or not. If you're going for Zombicide, I don't see anything missing. Everything looks like it's there, full and ready to play. You probably don't need any other paint unless you just have something very specific in mind to go out and get, and that's easy enough to get. Army Painter seems to be fantastic for pricing, so you should find this affordable in your area once it comes out. Besides the fact that you're going to need something to prime this miniature with, you shouldn't paint right on the plastic. It's probably going to not work that well or stay on very well. And these are game pieces, so you want your paints to stick. So there would be two things you'd want. You'd want a primer before you started, and then you'd probably want a varnish afterwards, so that when you're using this miniature, or your children are using this miniatures, or your friends are using this miniature, you can pick them up and move them around without scraping off the paint. So a varnish after that would be great, and I would suggest probably a matte varnish or a satin matte varnish after that. Army Painter has a brush on anti-matte varnish and a spray as well. Yeah, they have both of that, and it works great, so you could do that. If you wanted to keep the metallic sheen of any of the metals, then after your varnish is all done, just highlight again with any of your metals, and it'll come back. And hey, if it brushes off, it'll just be slightly duller metal underneath, and what's that really matter for old weapons, right? These are all going to be brand new paint, so you won't need to mix it much, but always remember that you can always, mixing your paint is generally needed when you start painting, and they have, Army Painter provides these Army Painter mixing balls, probably in here actually. Aha! These guys. Army Painter mixing balls can go into these pots and allow you to easily mix them up. If it seems like you push out and there is a selection of clear followed by a selection of opaque paint coming out of your pot, it needs to be mixed. It should always be one solid color all the time, no matter what consistency the paint is supposed to be. So for edge highlighting and like getting the light color of his hair, the top of the, yeah, his pants. This guy would be a great edge highlighter brush. That's what I would use it for. Wouldn't necessarily use it for getting all the details. It's a bit too stiff for that. I switched to a higher end brush, which just works better. This is a great highlighting brush. Not for dry brushing. Not for washing. Its point is too narrow for washing. You want a nice, or for basing, so you want a nice brush besides that, but it is great for highlighting. Yeah, definitely good for using the side. It is, yeah, it is. Okay. That's where its strength lies. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, this is a very well-rounded kit. Impressed with that. They say you will have everything that you need to paint your Zombicide miniatures, and I agree. It looks like you have everything that you need to paint your Zombicide miniatures. The only thing that you would need is a primer. And maybe a varnish afterwards so that you can play with the miniatures without having to worry about their paint scraping off. Yeah, those, and yeah, a bigger paintbrush, a base brush. If you want to stick with Army Painter, you could, for your washes, you could get something as big as the monster. You don't need to get that big though. You could get, yeah, the regiment brush would work well for bases and for basing as well. So regiment brush is a very nice buy. Of course, you know my love, the Kolinsky Masterclass for the fine details. And that one for the mid ones, probably good. That would probably do you well. Of course, if you wanted to try another high-end brush that goes in between those two, then you could get the, oh, I've used this so often, it's character brush, yeah. So Regiment Character Brush Kolinsky Masterclass. For those size miniatures, that's what I would suggest. Army Painter brushes are fantastic. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if it was useful to you, please like and subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye!